Nemo here. I am doing a Facebook Live for the first time through my gimbal screen, so I'm not even sure if this is coming through, and I'm going to continue with it anyway. Yesterday, I got a chance to go and get dinner with two of my best friends here in Singapore, and it was really a quite a lovely dinner. And if I'm going to get to it, I'm happy to say that I got triggered through it, throughout at some point in it. And if I'm being very real with you, in the moment, I wasn't happy at all. I felt that I was misunderstood. I felt that what I was trying to get, what I felt was core to who I was just not able to be understood by someone that that was important to me. Afterwards, this morning, so I felt misunderstood, if I'm going to be really honest with it and allow myself to get there. I then got angry. I got angry not at the sense that, not at me for getting triggered, but like the fact that even as I tried to work through it, I wasn't able to get to any levels of clarity or any levels of resolution within me. And then this morning I woke up and I was reflecting on it. I got a chance to talk it through with those involved last night. And I woke up this morning and I was feeling embarrassed. I remember brushing my teeth. I'm like, did I really go there? Did I like jeopardize our friendship? Did I just lose my cool? Then I thought about it, I'm like, nah, I kept my cool. But but at the same time, like I'm still feeling I feel happy. I feel happy that I was triggered because what ended up happening here was that it showed me something. There was a gift that this showed me. And the gift that it showed me was a place that I still am working through. And to give you some context on what occurred, at some point in the conversation, someone said, Nemo, but you're a lot. And they said there were words that were said after that moment, but for some reason I couldn't hear it. I could recognize it myself at that time that yes, I was feeling triggered. I was like I could call it out. In fact, even at the dinner table, I'm like, just so you know, in this moment, I am in a triggered state. I cannot process what you're saying in the same way that I would like to, because I am in this state. And it was really interesting, and being able to process it later on and be able to talk it through. What was really interesting was that this person was actually trying to give me a compliment, was actually trying to raise me up by calling out the fact that I am a lot. But I just wasn't able to. There was something that made me think of the tone a certain way, made me think of the message a certain way, and it just couldn't be delivered. And the reason that I'm happy now that I got triggered, because I now know that there's something there for me. And in my next level, let me be more specific so I can think about it in my head. Available to me through the path of being too much. This is something that's actually come up for at least it's been on for years, and in the last month it feels like it's really started to surface itself in a way that can determine whether or not the success of the activities that I'm participating in will be successful or not. And so I wanted to just come on here very quickly, share that story because it's real. It's happening right now. Literally, it's been less than 12 hours since it occurred. And I have seen this pattern of feeling too much continue to show up in my life and continue to hold me in a certain place. And with yesterday's dinner and today's reflection, I made a decision that it's time to really get a handle on the too muchness. And I'm very fortunate to be surrounded by really powerful coaches and really powerful people who are willing to stay in conversation with me throughout this process. And generally, I think what I'm really here to do is to declare something to you all. And the declaration is that this is too much May. Too much May. Too much May. And during this month, I know my stages. I know what it takes for me. When I get triggered, it's like the best thing because I know that there's something new for me. And I actually know the various stages that I go through, and what the stages actually align with the 4 stages of learning. which is unconscious incompetence. So that's when I didn't even know, up to before this dinner, I didn't know that I had a hard time receiving positive praise around being too much. I could only interpret it as a negative. It's really wild to me when I say it this way, but it's true, right? Like just starting to say that you're too much, or that's a lot, or you're a lot, or whatever it is, the eyes come open. I just have a way of interpreting it. So that's the first stage. The first stage was unconscious incompetence, and I was unaware that this was a blind spot for me. Last night and this morning, I became more aware of it. And so I moved into the second stage of learning, which is conscious incompetence. I now know that this is a thing for me. I now know that I have trouble receiving positive praise around being a lot, being too much. And this is where I'm at. The third stage is conscious competence. And the conscious competence stage, the way I look at it is that during this stage, I'm able to, when I think about it, when I try, I'm able to then be competent enough to say, okay, I can actually receive what you're saying. I can actually take that in. And it's something that, like, I probably will still get triggered, but I think in this conscious competence stage, what I'll find is as I'm being triggered, I'll be able to say, you know what? Say something like this. Hey, I can feel a lot of energy inside of me right now. I'm in a triggered state right now. And I think it's because you said I was too much, or you said something along those lines. You may not have even said it, but that's what I heard in my head. And I've become aware that I have a hard time receiving anything once that comes up. So I'm making it a practice to simply say thank you. Even if I don't know what it's about, even if I'm just gonna try that out. So thank you. And from my process of doing this in the past, I know that eventually over time, the space between just how long it takes. This time it took me 12 hours to realize what was going on, especially because it was really, it was something new. And honestly, 12 hours to have that kind of speed there, that's actually come from years of being able to call out that I've been too much. And now, finally, I'm able to see what I needed to see. So in this conscious competence state, or whenever I get a chance to be there, I will probably be in the conscious incompetent state as my general default. I'm now aware of it. And then every once in a while, I'll be able to be in a conscious competent state. And eventually over time, the amount of time that I spend in the triggered state will decrease. And the amount of time that it'll actually go beyond just I'm practicing saying thank you to eventually actually appreciating it. And then the fourth stage then is the unconscious competence. Unconscious competence. And that's when I just live life and someone says something about being too much or being a lot, and I'm just like, thank you. Like, I'm glad that you recognize that about me. I'm not there just yet. As much as I wanted to kind of just be out here, I'm just like, I'm not there just yet. And to be honest, a month may not even be enough. I don't think that it's gonna be enough. But I want to give myself a concentrated period of time to really push the boundaries of what being too much means for me, and do it in witness of all of you, to be visible as I'm doing this work. I'm an outlier, I'm a pioneer, and I'm a maverick. The things that I do puts me out alone. It makes me have to stand for something in order to change the world, in order to change my world. And the way that I want to be doing this here is to be doing my work in a way that's visible to each and every one of you. So throughout the month, I'll be sharing my thoughts on being too much. I'll be trying actively to be too much. In fact, one of the best things you might be able to do for me during this month is to say, Nemo, you're too much, and tell me why. Like, it won't be enough to just be a cheerleader and say you're too much because I'm saying that in this context, or you're a lot, or whatever the variation of that is that's for you. But if you do want to be a champion for me, help me know how I've been too much, how I come off as being a lot. And do it in a way with enough specificity such that I can really get an understanding of it and find a new relation to it. Let me know what I was doing that was too much. Let me know how that made you feel. Let me know the positive benefits of it. I'm trying to find the gifts of being too much. and I'm then looking to own all of it. And I might bring other pioneers down the road with me on this year. In this current moment, that doesn't feel like something I need to to add on top of this year. I'm doing my work around being too much, and it comes up a lot for my clients. It comes up a lot in the conversations we have. This feeling of simultaneously being too much and at the same time not enough. So I'm going to do my work on this year, and I am going through too much, man. You're welcome to come and join me if you'd like. You're welcome to share different things. I have the Outliers, Pioneers, and Mavericks Facebook group. I'll be sharing a lot of my insights and things that I'm playing with in there. And you're participating in this month regardless, because I am showing up in a way that it's going to be too much. I'm going to share too much. I'm going to love too much. I'm going to ask for too much. I'm going to, this is the month. We're going in. Too much, May. And I ask throughout here, trigger me. Trigger me so I can learn what I need to learn. And I can come out on the other side of this. I can come out on the other side of this being able to harness this power that I have, and to be able to use that to be able to take on projects that other people might feel are too much. Take on projects that feel too much for me to do at this moment. For me to make a change that feels too much to be contained, but to actually call out into the world. That's my ask of you, if you like to play. And I will always take other players, other people going through their own path of exploring these similar topics or others, and just being willing to be open, honest, and vulnerable enough to share what's going on for you along the way. You're absolutely fantastic. I'm pleased that I have this vehicle to be able to do my work and do it with you all in service of you and others. Oh, I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, man, a year from now, I'm going to come back to Too Much May and I'll be in a completely different place. The things that I would have accomplished because of the work that we've done here. It's just fantastic. So if you really want to see it, you'll see me come on here sometimes and share some videos here. But I'm everywhere right now. I have a podcast, I have a YouTube, I have Facebook, I have a Facebook group. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm everywhere right now. I am actively being too much. I'm probably going to pay too much too. But given all that there, this is the month to play around. I invite you to come be a part of this year. I invite you to support me by just calling out what you realness in it, enough concrete intangibility that I can go beyond just the feeling of being too much, and I can see the gift that's in it. Too much as well. The world might just need it. I'll talk to you soon. Bye. I also don't know how to get off Facebook Live, so we'll go.